Your boy Sean Brady trying to get back on the horse after suffering his first ever professional defeat by the hands of Bilal Muhammad just last year, taking on a newly found disciplined Kelvin Gastelum who makes his return back to 170. And that's going to be interesting to me because when we saw Kelvin most recently, it was in a middleweight bout and it was a fight of the night performance win over Chris Curtis. And while yes, there was some controversy, Chris Curtis argued that there was a pivotal moment in the contest where there was a clash of heads, and that's what kind of swung the pendulum of the second round. And the other two were close as nails, but nonetheless, it was a nice performance from Kelvin, and it was good to see because Kelvin had lost two straight, and he had even lost 5 of 6 with only one win sprinkled in there, and that was in a snooze fight against Ian Heinisch. So some pretty rough stuff from Kelvin, and you understand why he might be making the move down to 170 because when he was there, that's when he did his best work. He always had the weight problems. It was a little bit difficult for him to avoid all of the bomb meals, but nonetheless, I think that this could be a peak version of Kelvin. And if we think about it, the dude's only 32 years old. And while, yes, he's been with the UFC for over 10 years, and he's obviously an old 32, he's still 32, and he's looking quite fit in his most recent pick. So in this one, Meepo, are you going to take Kelvin Gastelum at 170 against Sean Brady, who, again, we know is this guy who nobody wanted to fight for a while. He was undefeated in the UFC, had won 5 in a row, took out Chiesa, took out Jake Matthews, and is a guy who trains with your boy Body Bags, trains with Ruzi Boev, Basil Hafaz, a bunch of killers. So very sick matchup here, Meepo. You taking Sean Brady, or is Kelvin coming through?
Yeah, this is a very interesting fight because, you know, Brady over here didn't look the best, while Kelvin possibly had the performance of his life. This is such a tough pick. Obviously, Sean Brady is going to absolutely smash. The comeback is here. Sean Brady submission first round.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think that if Sean Brady gets this one done, that it's going to be by finish? And explain to me how you think that plays out, because obviously we know Kelvin on paper is a guy who is a Division One wrestler. He's got that arsenal, but we have, strangely enough, seen him get out grappled and out wrestled in certain contests. So if you're taking Brady, you're taking him by finish. Are you anticipating a vintage Sean Brady affair where he closes the distance, takes him down immediately, and is able to just have his way with Kelvin there? How does it play out?
Yeah, I think he's gonna have his way wherever it goes. On the ground, on the feet. But it will be interesting to see if Kelvin's speed is too much for him to handle. That's something I do worry about. Kelvin looked pretty darn fast for his size, and I don't know if you've seen his Instagram lately, but he's been looking pretty darn swole, looking like a Sean Brady swole. But my guess is Sean Brady needs to break him down. The longer this fight goes, I think the better Sean Brady will be. He has an infinite gas tank, unlike anything you've ever seen. So I just don't know if Kelvin can handle it. He could be wheeling off near the third round if Brady puts a heavy wrestling pressure on him.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if that's what he does defer to, because again, when he lost against Bilal Muhammad, he couldn't get the takedown, and when they were just going strike for strike on the feet, Bilal was absolutely teeing off on him, making him look like a true novice against Remember the Name. So in this one, you mentioned the speed of Kelvin Gastelum. I think that could play a role in this one, Meat Boy, and when Gastelum is able to stuff that first or second takedown, I think that we're going to see another deer in the headlights Sean Brady, just like we saw against Bilal Muhammad. And with that being said, I'm going to go Gaslam to win either by third round finish or a convincing decision where he wins the last 2 rounds. Because I just see a world where Gaslam is too fast, too sharp for Brady. And I don't know, meat boy. I'm buying the hype at Kelvin returning to 170. I like how this dude is looking. And if we're going to see a disciplined version of Kelvin Gastelum for the first time, essentially in UFC history, despite all of the amazing moments that Gastelum already had throughout his career, I think that could be a scary thought. So I'm taking Gastelum by third round finish or decision. Any last thoughts?
No, this is a fun fight, great fight nonetheless. In the comments, you take it and why. Smash me, subscribe.